Hey, Sherry G, hail from the state of Texas. It's nice weather today. It's a little crisp, a little overcast. Um, it's supposed to have some heavy rain today about 1 o'clock. But anyway, it feels good out here right now, and I'm such an outdoors person. I love nature, I love being outdoors. So every chance I get, I'm going to be out here. I can't wait until the spring so I can spruce up my area. This is my space. As you can tell, like, right, it's my space, but I got some plans for this spring. So anyway, change it up some and freshen it up for sure. But anyway, in this video, I just wanted to address some of the comments and questions that have come up since I've been doing my videos and since I started my channel. And with that said, to all of my subscribers, all of you are new, thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. You're encouraging me to just continue and to continue to seek the content and do the research, because that's important too, right? Do the research and then come back and chat it up with you guys. Someone mentioned that mentioned me doing lives, and I do plan on doing that soon. I just think I need to build my viewership up more, but I'm definitely going to be doing lives because I think, well, I enjoy lives, right? So something that I did in my corporate world before I became a hotelier, so before I got into the hotel business. But anyway, yeah, I'll be doing lives shortly. So before I get into today's content, let me say that everything here is of my opinion and the opinion of those who do comment. It's alleged, it's for entertainment and learning purposes. Now, with that said, I want to go back and readdress the 47 acres because someone actually mentioned in my comments that the reason why the deal didn't go through is because the Scott brothers didn't want their names on it because they didn't want to be liable. And that might be true. Maybe they didn't want to be liable, but I still find that suspect. You want to go in, you don't mind your wives putting their names on it because if something happens, then they can take the liability. I guess because they use their companies. Tisha used her company, Infinity Property, and I forget what company Kimmy was using. So I guess if their companies crash because of it or are affected because of it, so maybe because the guys' companies were doing better. I don't know. But the bottom line is Richard, the lender, stated that he couldn't make the numbers work because the other two, the Holts were good, but this was being split between 6 people. This was a deal between the 6 of them. So he had to look at the financials of all of them to make it work. And he stated that Kimmy and Tisha, they weren't strong enough, in other words. So what they were bringing to the table, even if it was their businesses, wasn't strong enough. And Kimmy was getting upset and she started stating what was in the articles. And Mel said, I know what's in the articles, but we need 6 signatures because the loan isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. So maybe we need to change the articles. And then they didn't want to do that. So later on down in the season, Marcel had the gall to go around telling people that the Holtz stole the land from them because, as we know, they just went on and purchased it. And I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing. And he had the gall to say they stole it. No, bro, they didn't steal it. Your wives didn't have enough financial clout to back that loan on their own. And you guys, the Scott brothers, made a choice not to sign. You didn't want your businesses associated with it. So what were the Holtz supposed to just carry this on their own? I'm telling you, they just seem so, I don't even know what word to put around it, but it just, everything around, regarding them and business seems unscrupulous. And so the reason why I say that is because when they decided to come back as the comeback group, and they went on again to come back again and let's try this again, and then Martel found 2 lots that they could put 2 houses on, and in true Scott fashion, the Scotts drug their feet, and so Melody and Martel, they went on and had this, had the inspections done, the surveys, whatever it was that needed to be done to get the project started. And the Scotts got mad and said, well, this sounds like what happened before. Well, you're right. It does sound like what happened before. You guys are dragging your feet. Where's the money? Like, cough it up. And Melody said, well, I guess we'll just suck this up. But then eventually the Holtz, the whole deal with the comeback group just fell through. But the Holtz went on and built the homes and sold them. So again, I just don't know. I think about Carlos, and I think about, what he propositioned this show to be, and I wonder if he did his research. Obviously he didn't. And I know that when Melody came to Carlos, because this was her idea, that he said, can you find 2 more couples? I guess just to give the show some more whatever. But, and it did that in the worst way. And that's why they went back to the Scotts, because of the way the show was supposed to have been set up. I guess they would have been the best fit if they could make it work as a group, and it didn't. So one thing just led to another, and then of course with Melody and Martel's divorce, that just made it all worse. Things really, really fell apart. So that's my comment about the 47 acres. And then someone else mentioned that, I mentioned in my last video that, I went to Madison County and did some research, and I found that the Scotts did actually have possession, or there is 9.5 acres of land in their name. And let me see here. Someone mentioned that might be tied up with the whole Zen Garden, lawsuit, the $5.5 million lawsuit that Zen Garden has against Marcel and Tisha Scott. So this 9.5, it's 9.57 acres, which is valued at a little over $100,000. That just blows my mind. That blows my mind. 9.5 acres for $100,000. Good God. I'd love to have that. But anyway. And so, the taxes were $1,194.12 that were due October 12th. And I find it interesting that they still have a balance. It hasn't been paid. So I was just wondering, and this is me, and this is alleged, and it's my opinion, are they not paying the taxes because they want to lose the land because it's tied up with Zen Garden? Because, there could be a tax levy. I don't know. But anyway, they would lose it to Zen Garden if that was the case, right? Zen Garden would, I don't believe $1,194.12 would be a problem for them. And it's February now. So October, November, December, January, February. How long do you guys get to pay your taxes in Alabama? I don't know, but that just seems like a long time. 4 months to pay $1,100, and it just doesn't jive with people who got it going on and people who are millionaires. You're not like us common folk, you're millionaires, right? So anyway, I just found that to be interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with this lawsuit. I don't know if we'll see that played out on the show either. And then the next question that was asked in my comment section was, do you think Martel wants full custody of his kids? And yes and no. I think he wants full custody because that will give him somewhat more control with Melody. I think he wants full custody because it would definitely, he's going to go for the child support. I would be so shocked if he didn't. So I'm alleging that he would want full custody because he would want to go for the child support, because he doesn't have, his name has been tarnished in Huntsville. It's going to be hard for him to find business partners to do business with him, and I don't know what kind of business he would be doing anyway, besides working for someone else as a contractor, working with maybe Marceau and his business. But I don't know, because his reputation just went downhill with all the scandal around their divorce, and Huntsville being such a small city. And they were an established couple before all of this happened. Their business was reputable, and they were revered in their community. But now he's mud. So anyway, I think he would want full custody of the children for those reasons. That would keep some income coming in and somewhat give him more control, probably in his mind. Again, this is my opinion, over Melody. But I don't think he wants full custody because that would hinder his ability to do the things that he wants to do, and that's be out on these streets, right? He wouldn't be able to go running to Atlanta as often because he'd have to then find childcare, right? The children aren't old enough to just be home by themselves like that. So then that's going to hinder him. And I know he's been out, in these internet streets trying to show himself as a father who would like to be home with his kids, and, all the pictures and all the things that he was doing. But we know how Martel is, and that's not the truth, in my opinion. So on that question, I think yes and no. But we don't have to worry about him getting full custody. I seriously doubt if he'll get full custody. I think he's ruined all chances of that. And the crazy part about it is he had it set. He had it made, because Melody, in their divorce, she had it where you have him for 7 days and I have him for 7 days. She wasn't trying to keep the children away from him, nor did she ask him for a dime. She didn't ask him for one copper penny, no child support. So, he really messed up, didn't he? So now, not only could she get full custody, she could actually go after him for child support. Just because. Not because she needs it, but just because. Because it's chess, not checkers. Checkmate. Anyway, so I talked about the Scotts and their land. I talked about the 47 acres and Martel wanting full custody of his kids. But one of the things that my daughter brought up to me, she's watching this show. Like I said, she started watching it, never watched it before, and so I'm sitting there with her. She's wondering what's up with Kimmy, because she said that Kimmy seems to be kind of jealous of Mel. She's like, what's up with her? It's like, she seems jealous and I wouldn't trust her. And so in the beginning, Kimmy was really snakish. She told Tisha that she thought that Melody was trying to make Tisha a mini her. And I don't think that's what Mel was trying to do at all. She said, well, that's what it means when someone says they want to give you the blueprint. No, it doesn't, because that's just a foundation, right? Someone could say, hey, let me give you the foundation for financial success. And that's just a foundation, but it's all based on what you have to put into it. Like, you're not working with the same thing. And you could have a blueprint for a home. Like, here's what the foundation's going to look like, but you can switch the walls around according to what that foundation will allow you to do. You can switch windows around. You can change things around to bring your own life into it, to put your own footprint on it. And Tisha actually even alluded to that, because she said Marceau is not Martel. So in my mind, I took it as Melody saying, hey, I can give you the blueprint on how to find yourself and still manage your home. But then she even said in one of the outtakes, where they're questioning them as couples, and they're not really in a scene, but they're just doing the little Q&A part, or they're questioning them as individuals. And on this particular one, Melody was sitting in this hot seat, so to speak, and they were questioning her. And she said, I got a lot of nerve, and I'm paraphrasing, I have a lot of nerve offering to do someone a blueprint, or give someone a blueprint for how to have a great marriage. And I have no idea, like, all this is going on in my marriage. But she could, in my mind, could still give her a blueprint on how to find herself, do her thing, and manage all the things in her marriage, and still have happiness. Because even though Mel had all of this chaos going on, she still had a good blueprint on how to keep it going on and, move forward and do all the things, right? So that's just my opinion. But anyway, I just wanted to come really quickly and just touch on those couple of things. I do have more video coming. I have some content that I'm working on as it relates to Carlos King, because well, he blows my mind. And my daughter kept asking, who is the producer of this show? Because some things weren't making sense to her, the way it was edited. And this is just from the very beginning. And you know what's so interesting? My daughter is a Scorpio. I'm a Pisces, and she's a Scorpio, and we get along really well. So, like, everyone's like, how is it like having your daughter live with you? It's a beautiful thing, right? She stays in her part, but we come together, and watching this show is like bonding time. Sometimes we'll go and we'll come and sit out here. We do things together, but I have come to understand the Scorpio mind. And my daughter's 37, so just in my 37 years of being her mom, so I pretty much get Melody. And you know what? There's not a blueprint on being a Scorpio or a Pisces either, because all of our life influences and our, experiences kind of change things, along with the day and time and all that we were born, just different things. But anyway, I don't want to get into all of that, because that's not what this is about. But yeah, I'll be back. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, because like I said, I will be back. Until then, ciao.